Alright, so today I'd like to share a fun project with you guys that I just made, and this is called Movie Ratings. This is based on this class here with the title and rating here. The rating is integer, and this is the data we are using. So basically we are converting the rating from integer to image using value converters. If you haven't seen or you don't know anything about value converters, I strongly recommend to visit my videos about value converters to give you a basic idea how it works. Okay, so I'm going to create a new project to duplicate this from scratch. Okay, so it's going to be WPF .NET Framework. Let's click next, and let's call this Movie Ratings. It could be book ratings or it could be any ratings. Create. Okay. I'm gonna flip this panes and adjust the width and height of this window. So I'm gonna go with 400 width and 550 height. Just keep it simple. Okay, next thing I want to do is change this grid to a stack panel. Okay, and actually I don't know if I set this to startup project. No, I haven't. So let's set it to a startup project, and let's add text block here that tells us this is movie ratings. I'm gonna set the font size to 36. Okay, let me build and run this. Okay, no errors is always good. Okay, so we got something. Alright, so next thing I want to do, I want to add a list box. Actually, no, at first I want to set the data context. So, window, data context, and this is going to be, well, local. Let me close this up. We don't have the class yet. Okay, so that can stay there. Let me go to the code behind and create a couple classes. We don't need these comments here. Okay, so the first class is going to be public class movie. We need two properties, prop, tab. First one is going to be type of string, and it's going to be title. Next one is going to be integer, and that's going to be a rating. Okay. Next class is going to be the one that's going to supply us the data. So we're hard coding the data basically. Public class movies. Okay. So first I'm going to need another property here. This is going to be a list of movies. Okay, let's call this movie list. Okay, and I'm going to add a new method. It's going to be a public static. It's going to return a list of movies. And let's call this GetMovies. The suggestion is pretty reasonable, so I'll take the suggestion. Alright, so return new list of movies. And let's add the movies in here. New movie. Title is going to be movie 1. And the rating is going to be, let's give this 3. New movie. Let's copy and paste this couple times. And let's change this to a 2, 3, and let's change the ratings as well. And call the toList method. Okay. No issues found. That's a new feature of Visual Studio 2019. So basically, you don't have to build it, since it's to find out if you have any errors, and we do actually. Oh, and I thought this was, well, okay, I think this is the reason there's no issues in here, but we have issue over here, right? Because we didn't set the data context. So I'm going to set the data context to movies. Okay, let's rebuild this. Okay, our error cleared. Now let's add our list box. Let's change the font size to 30. And item source, let's set this to binding movie list. And close this out for now. We got nothing. Let's build and run this. Alright, so we got nothing. Let's find out why. Let's go back to our code behind. And the reason we don't have any data is because we didn't assign the property to this method. So get movies. I think that should take care of it. Let's rebuild this. I think we should have data. And there it is. So we got 3 movies. Let's go ahead and expand our list box. And let's set the data template, the item template. So list box, item template. We're going to use the data template. And inside here, we're going to need a stack panel, a text block. I'm going to set the text property to binding title. Okay, now we got our titles. Beautiful. Now let's bring up another text block and set the text to binding rating. Let's make sure this works, and it's working. Let's run this. Great. All right, so far so good. Now, next step, just to give you an idea how I made my PNG file that I'm going to use for the ratings. So basically, I dragged one of these star shapes and I filled it with one of these colors. So you can play with it. You can change the color if you want to. And then I took a snippet of it and saved it. And I already have here, but I'm going to save another one just to show you. So call this star. Let's call this star gold. And save it. Okay, now I'm going to bring that, add to project. Let's open up our Solution Explorer and go to our images. Our star gold is right here. I'm going to drag and drop inside our project, and the file is right here. Okay. So the next thing I want to do, I want to create a converter. That converter is going to take this number and return a list of images for me. So let's add a new class. I'm going to call this int to string list. Okay, converter. All right, into string list converter. Okay, let's add. Let's make this class public. Let's inherit from IValueConverter. Again, if you don't know anything about IValueConverters, please go ahead and check out my video about IValueConverters, multi-value converters. That should give you a good idea how they work. All right, let's implement the interface. And we need to use this convert method. I'm going to start with an if statement. If value is int j, and a for loop for I equals to 0 if I less than j. Okay, okay, forgot something. I need a list of var list equals new list of string. Okay, so let's initialize that to a new list of strings. So the string we are looking for is the file name. So star gold PNG. So star underscore gold dot PNG. So for I, as long as I less than this value here, that's coming in from our rating, we want to add list dot add star dot gold dot PNG. Okay, and finally, when all said and done, we want to return the list. Okay, so that takes care of our converter. Let's save this. And build it. Alright, so let's go back to our XAML. Now I'm going to remove this. We don't need this anymore. We're going to need a list box here. List box. I'm going to set the item source to, actually before doing this, let's go bring that new converter as a resource. So window resources, local int to string list converter. Let's get a key. Let's call this int to images. Okay. Now let's go back to our list box, new list box, and let's set the item source to binding rating, and let's call our converter now. Converter static resource images into images converter. Okay, we are seeing progress here. That's good. Let's run this and see what we have so far. Basically we can see it, but it's always good to run. Make sure it compiles. Okay, so far so good. So now we are going to create an item template. Okay, so list box dot item template. We're going to need a data template, and inside here we need an image that the source equals to binding. I think that's it. I think binding should take care of that. And sure enough, beautiful. Well, we're not done yet, so we have to flip that horizontally. So let's change the stack panel. Before that, we need to change the orientation of the list box, and to change the orientation we need to use list box dot items panel, item panel template, and we're going to call on the wrap panel. Okay, let's run this again and see if anything changed. Seems like it did. And we got horizontal rating images. Beautiful. Okay, next thing I want to do is flip the stack panel horizontally. So change the orientation to horizontal, and let's see what happens. Beautiful. All right, let's do a couple minor tweaks here. Let's drop the font size a notch, and images, make that a little smaller. So font size was I think somewhere up here. List box. So let's change the font size to 28, and the image is down below here. Let's change the height to 28 also. Let's write it. Awesome. Alright, so we have our beautiful stars as ratings of our movies. Okay, another tweak, we could remove the border of the list box. I think it belongs to the list box. So our second list box is over here. Let's go inside here and let's remove the border thickness, set to 0. And I believe that takes care of that. Run this again. And there you have it. Beautiful. Alright, thanks for tuning in. Until the next one, take it easy.